Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Que-stead-Que. What you gonna do? I don't know, but something's gonna grow. Well, everybody, let's start outside today. There's a few things I need to do and show you. So we'll start out here, and then we'll work our way into the greenhouse because I have some other things to show you and to do. Okay, here's Mr. Honeyberry. Has anyone come up with the name yet? Come up with the name for Mr. and Mrs. Honeyberry. I'm gonna have to trellis Mrs. Honeyberry. My peas are still out front and they came back to life, so they might put off a few more peas for me. So I'm gonna hold off, but I have the perfect trellis up there that I can use. And actually I have a small trellis right there in the greenhouse that I will bring out on tomorrow to trellis Mrs. Honeyberry. Yeah, because she's viney, whereas Mr. Honeyberry, he has the thicker brush. I think that Mrs. Honeyberry may thicken up. She's doing good though. Nothing, other than the fact that she's laying on the ground. I don't like that. I would rather she stand tall like Mr. Honeyberry. So until she's strong enough to do it on her own and grow some, then I'm a trellis her. Okay, the blueberry bushes, both of them. Remember I was talking about the yellow leaves on the baby one? They're still a little yellow, but they're doing a lot better. And then we have, and those blueberries are still there, surprisingly enough. I guess the birds will attack them after they turn blue. And then the other blueberry has taken very well to the trellis. I like when plants take well to the trellis on their own and you don't have to train them at all. I just put it close to it to see if it would pull towards the trellis, and it did. Okay, the arugula, and I did read up on arugula. Oh, that's some good stuff, and I see it's going to seed. Let me unseed it right now because I do want to eat on some of that this summer. They gave the description of the taste and said that it could be used for salads and whatnot. See the seed? So let's just snap that off. And I'm gonna throw it right in here because arugula comes back every year. So it can continue to seed the keyhole garden and spread. But I don't want it to go to seed right now. It can go to seed later and do whatever it's gonna do. Okay, so I just threw that down and we'll see what happens. Okay, now remember the second asparagus, the first one was already a fern, but I was concerned about the second asparagus because I was just planting the roots because I had cut all the asparagus off. It has ferned. This is what I wanted. So I know that next year it'll come back, it'll produce some more because this is the third year for my asparagus and I got quite a good harvest this year. And these ferns last year, I cut them down to the nub in the fall. And then I saw a video that says, do not do that. They said, leave the ferns, let them die off on their own and you'll get stronger and better asparagus the next year. So this year I won't be cutting it. So I don't know how big this thing is gonna get because last year it got real bushy. I just didn't get asparagus last year because that was year 2. Okay, I decided, I was like, I'm worried about my potato harvest. I want to get a good harvest so desperately that I said, let me just go and check one of these. And here's some berries. Let me pull those off because y'all know I pulled the berries a week and a half ago and I did hit it with some more phosphorus, the bone meal. And so I said, let me check the progress. Here's another berry. I said, let me check the progress here because I just, I'm concerned that I may not have gotten the potatoes deep enough. I'm concerned that I may not get anything. I just don't know. And then when I got those 2 small ones from the front potato bed, that really concerned me about these. And these are the Eva variety. So I decided to come back here and check. And let's see. Now I gotta find the spot again. Hold on, I think it's here. Here we go. That eased my fear. I know this isn't a seed because y'all saw the seed potatoes. So that is a potato that I'm getting from the Eva variety that I ordered from Que-stead-Que. And these were planted like a week later than the other ones. And I still have a month to go before harvest. So now I feel a little better. At least I don't know how many I'm gonna get of potatoes, but it would be nice to get some and at a decent size. And that was a decent size. So that eased my fears. If I don't get but that one potato, and I just watered, so everything is kind of sloppy here with this. And I am gonna heal them again too, because I understand that the higher you heal them, the more potatoes you can get. So I'm gonna heal those again on tomorrow. Okay, now same with the garlic. Although my garlic bed back here was the free one, those were the ones that I planted first. I planted those, I believe October it was close to Halloween, I know that, because we finally had a day that in October where it was not raining. And so I decided, okay, let me get this garlic in the ground, because that was the free garlic from the Grow Club. And remind me to tell y'all the news about that. Okay, and so, and that wind yesterday blew tree limbs down, so I got to get that cleared out over there. Let me zoom in so you can see. See that? So I've got to get that out of here. I just got all my tree limbs cleared the other day, and now here I am with more. Okay, but anyway, yeah, so I planted that garlic out, I think October the 30th, somewhere around there. And then the King garlic arrived, I think maybe 2 or 3 days after that. Ooh, look at the beautiful moon. Wait a minute, y'all. I know I'm all over the place as usual. Look at that moon. And then you have the sun. And you know, that makes me think of that beautiful celestial dance that I saw called the eclipse. Okay, now let me get back on track. Okay, so I planted the King garlic. Wait, yeah, I planted the King garlic after I planted the garlic that came from the Grow Club, because technically the King garlic was going to go in the bed where I planted the Grow Club garlic, and the varieties are German and Music. I just mixed it up. Okay, so I said, well, I'm concerned about the garlic too, because, you know, I tried to dig that one up about a month ago and lost it. So I still have to dig that up, because I'm not, whatever was there, I'm getting it out of there. So I said, let me go on and dig one up just to see, because a month from today, or actually the 14th of July is my birthday, but on the 15th, that Monday, that is the day that I should be able to harvest the garlic, if not sooner. It all depends on when those scapes and shoots die. The garlic and the potatoes will come out of the ground on July 15th. That's my scheduled tentative date that I plan to harvest. So I just wanted to see, with it being exactly 1 month from today, which is the 14th of June, I wanted to make sure that they're at least coming along. I know I'm through with the fertilization, but I know that eventually it's time to stop watering and all that stuff. I think 2 weeks before harvest. So I'll stop watering around the 4th of July. I'll use the holiday as my, thing. And then same with potatoes. They say water those potatoes each day until about 2 weeks before it's time to harvest. Now the potatoes I can hit again with a little bit of that bone meal. And so I plan to hit these again with some bone meal. And I also plan to hit the ones up front with some bone meal. It can't hurt it. Whereas the garlic, on the other hand, you're done. You're supposed to stop with the fertilization a month before you harvest. Okay, so let's pour this, because I want to keep this keyhole garden activated with fresh produce. And I've got another bag inside that has fresh produce. This is potato peels. But my other bag has other stuff, peppers and all kind of scraps in there. So I'm going to put that in my little keyhole garden up front. And then I have a third bag that I just started for my compost bin over on the side of the house, which I haven't done anything to this year. I need to get it wet. I need to get it turned. So I'm going to do that next week. Okay, so to the garlic. I decided to dig one up just to see. I'm very satisfied. Now, we still have a month to go. But that bulb, although it's small, but it's actually a respectable size for me to have a month to go. They're going to get bigger. So whatever I'm doing the correct thing because I do have a bulb. And yes, this is going to be hung in I have a closet that I use where I hang my mint and herbs because there's a pole in there. And so I just have, excuse me, I'm stuttering. I have a string tied to the pole and that's to hang whenever I have herbs or anything to hang to dry out and cure. I put it in that dark closet in the seed room, actually the room that I formerly used for seeds. And it's still going to end up being a room because when I bring in the rosemary and stuff, I'm going to run those grow lights during the winter on those plants that I'm going to bring indoors. And so they're going to go in that room and this table is going to go back in there. Okay, I uncovered my green beans because I noticed that they were looking and the slugs are back. And I didn't see any out here. I inspected very well. I believe slugs can burrow. I truly believe that. But they're getting a hold to these green beans out here. And yes, and they're just now starting to develop the blossoms. So I want to get my green beans, but I'm not liking how they look. And so I decided, well, during the day, because I'm thinking perhaps they're not getting enough sun either. But you can see where the slug is just having a good time with these green beans, but there's nothing in here. I wish he hit this hot pepper. He hasn't touched that. Them things know what they're doing, okay? But anyway, I uncovered it, so for now on during the day, the green beans will be uncovered as well as the cauliflower and the eggplant, just so that it can get more sun and hopefully take off better. The eggplant is growing. Here's the new growth, but look at the leaf. That slug that was in there the other day that I sent to the upper room, he got a hold to that leaf, and I still may have more in here. Yep, that one's doing good. My cauliflower seems to be doing good. I don't like how it's breaking apart. I want it to stay tight. But I've never grown cauliflower, so that could be how it's supposed to look. For those of you who have grown it, I know I need to wrap the leaves eventually. That is, if the slug doesn't eat all the leaves away. And I think that's what I'm going to do. But I'm trying to wait for a minute. Okay, and this one, oh yeah, it's developing a head in there. And these are already wrapped. And nothing's really bothered that too much. Okay, so now it's time to cover them. I've watered them real good. And they've been uncovered for over an hour now. So I'm going to cover them. But then tomorrow, as soon as I get up and come out here, I will uncover them. And I'll just have to keep an eye out for Raquel and the other squirrels. Hold on. Let's get this. And then we're going to walk over to the garlic area. And I'm going to show you what's going to go into that bed when I pull the garlic in 1 month. I watched a video from M.I. Gardner on today, and he talked about how when you pull something out, because he was saying the cold crops for some people are coming out now, and he's in Michigan. So he said, don't leave those beds blank, because he said the rain can wash away the nutrients, he said, of the amendments. He said, and then also bugs and weeds can take over. So he said, if you can plant something else in there to go the rest of the summer, he said beans is a good choice. He talked about squash, which is what I'm going to put in the bed. I decided I'm going to put, just to get some, I like squash, but y'all know I like the leaves and flowers. And since I'm eating all the leaves and flowers from the ones in the greenhouse, with the exception of the patty pan, I'm going to put a couple of patty pan squash in here. And I'm also going to put a summer squash in there and just let the pollinators pollinate and see what they do. And those fruits I will keep. and that is if an animal does not attack and eat up everything. Usually nothing bothers my squash because, you know, squash tend to be prickly, the stems of it. So animals usually leave it alone once they rub up against the prickliness of the stems. But anyway, here's the garlic. And some are bigger than the one I pulled and some are smaller. So, like I said, I'm through fertilizing. But once that garlic comes out, if I can, I don't know. I really don't want to disturb the corn, but I would rather the corn go into the back row and then the squash go into the front row, because I'll be, you know, stepping in to do certain things with the squash. So the corn is growing, some of it doesn't look too much bigger, but some of it does. So in a month, we'll see how it looks. If it's too big, I'm not going to disturb it. I'll just go on and plant the squash seeds back there. And I might throw a cucumber seed in there too, another diva cucumber. Okay, here is one thing I want to show you. I'm starting to get my blooms. Okay, so this is always my first bed to bloom. And as you can see, remember I was telling you about the orange flowers? So these are the flowers. Somebody tell me what these are. And they look like a little trumpet shape, you know, or whatever. They're beautiful. And they do draw the pollinators. They really draw the butterflies. So I'm going to be seeing those real soon, and so will you. Okay, so these always bloom first. Then the bed on the other side of the house right there, I don't know if you can see that. That one will bloom second. By the 4th of July, I will be in full bloom. Then the flowers over here, in the flower bed over here, they'll bloom after the second bed on the side of the house. She must have staggered the planting when she planted those flowers. That one will bloom third, and then this one will bloom last. Well, no, it'll bloom fourth, but it's blooming now. But this will be in full bloom by the 4th of July. So you're going to see, you know, all these flowers bloom. And then back there, those do not bloom until August. In fact, all of these die off right around August, and then those come at that time. And those are the ones that are blue and yellow back there. I remember that really well. And they haven't bloomed in 2 years. They bloomed the first year I was here, and then I neglected the bed and nothing happened 2 years ago, but I know that they're going to bloom this year. Let's bring this garlic in here for now so I don't forget it when it's time. Okay, so the defense against the slugs right here. I think it was Grandma Sandy. So one of y'all told me to use, you said, I think oyster shells or something, but then you said the egg shells would work. So I'm gonna put on my gloves and I'm gonna crush these up while I'm sitting down running my mouth. And I found a slug in here today. I noticed that my green beans were full of holes, and I was like, oh no. I was like, no wonder my green beans are missing, the ones that I saw. I still have a few babies there, but those bigger ones that I saw are gone. But then I've got all these blooms still, and I was like, in these holes, I said slug. And so I searched and I searched and I searched for the slug. Finally, I picked up the thing, and the slug was underneath the crate. So I picked up most of the crates in search of more slugs, and I didn't see any. Now, I didn't get them all. I didn't pick them all up, but I picked up most of them, especially the ones that don't have the trellis tied to them. And this is what I can use for Mrs. Honeyberry. So let me put this by the door. I can set that in the keyhole garden. In fact, let's do it now. Sorry, y'all. I know I'm everywhere with this camera. Let's do this right now so I don't forget. Because Mrs. Keyhole. Hey, that's a good name, Mrs. Keyhole. Okay, but Mrs. Honeyberry, I think she could, this would serve her right now. So let's stick that in there. And then we'll just tie her around. Okay, that helps a little bit. I'll work with it some more on tomorrow. I don't want to fall over right now because I'm on that hill. I was on the hill, rather. Okay. And we're almost at 20 minutes already. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is get my gloves, and I'm going to crush those up while I tell y'all about my doctor's appointment. And then gloves. Okay, right. Nope, those are too dirty. Okay. Okay. Oh, let me tell y'all about what else happened. I almost lost my new strawberries, y'all. I came in here and they were looking dead. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, now I know what Sweet Tomato Vine said. Don't prove me wrong, Sweet Tomato Vine, because I know that last year when I planted those strawberry, when I rooted those strawberries, I didn't lose any. It was no problem. What happened was they were right dead in the sun when it was 96 degrees earlier today. And so I brought them over to the shady side and I saved them. In fact, they're perking back up. These leaves are still curled. When I say they were wilted as if they were dead, and even this strawberry, I had to move it because it had wilted down. I was like, oh no, because I have berries on there that are growing. I don't want to lose nothing. I don't care if it is 5 berries. So I brought everything over here and everything perked back up. And then I added more fresh water because the water had even gotten hot. So good save, Q, because they would have been dead had I not come out here earlier before I went to the doctor. Okay, so I get to the doctor, and so I'm talking to him. I'm telling him about how fatigued I am. I was like, I just feel run down. I said to the point, hold on. Hey, y'all. I said, I just feel run down to the point that I feel like I'm going to just collapse. I said, I'm taking my vitamins, I'm doing everything. And then I told him about, my sleep habits and how, my circadian rhythm has been horrible for the past 20 years. And, I told him about all that. And then I told him about how right now, I said, usually I don't have that problem until the winter. I said, but I'm having it right now. He said, Mrs. Davis, he said, you are, and he calls me Mrs. I just let him do it, okay? But anyway, he said, you are, he said, that's the classic symptoms of sleep apnea. And it dawned on me, I was like, doctor, I was like, you are so right. I said, because years ago I was diagnosed with it, and that machine was so heavy, you couldn't even sleep with the machine back in the day. If any of y'all have sleep apnea and ever used that machine, y'all know what I'm talking about. Woo! And so I hung with it for about 6 months, and finally I just stopped using it, and that was the end of that. Why I did that, I don't know. And then I lost a lot of weight. I lost over 100 pounds, so that helped. And I did lose weight today. He weighed me. Since I last been to him, I've lost about 3 pounds. And then I was weighed when I went to the hospital about a month ago, and I had lost then, but I lost more since then. Because remember, I told y'all I had lost 14 pounds, but that wasn't quite accurate. When they weighed me at the hospital, I had actually lost about 7 pounds. So I was like, okay, I can deal with that. Well, I've since lost 3 more pounds. So that's 10 pounds. So that's good. That's very good. So, and that comes from me, working around, cutting the lawn and all that. But shoot, when you're so tired, you can't do nothing, that's going to be bad. So anyway, now I have to go for a sleep study. So he gave me the name and number of a sleep specialist that he said is excellent. So I will call them on Monday because their office closed at 12 p.m. today. So I will call on Monday, schedule an appointment, and then they'll get me scheduled immediately for another sleep study. He said he can't just order you a sleep machine because you had it before and all that. He said every 4 years anyway, 4 to 5 years, you have to do another sleep study. I'm not looking forward to that, but I'm gonna go on and do it. And they do accommodate your sleep schedule, because before I did it in the day, I had to be there at 6 in the morning because I was up all night. And so I had to be there at 6 in the morning, and then I slept for whatever hours that I slept for my sleep study during the day. And that was great because it wasn't nobody in there. It was quiet, the whole 9 yards. So I'm a request to do that again instead of going at night where I'll be laying there looking crazy, woke. I can, just go on and do it during the morning hours. I'll even ask if I can come in at about 3 a.m. and then get started at 4, and then I'll be out of there by 12 noon the next day. So I'm certain that's going to be the diagnosis again. And so I'm willing to go through with it. And the doctor said, oh, it's totally different, because he said he's on a CPAP machine. He said they are very comfortable. You won't have any of the issues that you had 20 years ago when you were on it before. So I hope he's telling the truth. And I am going to research it tonight. I'm going to look at YouTube University and online and see what they offer now and how things work. Because he said there's so many options now. He said they even have this one that you don't even have the machine. It's just that I forget the setup. And I did see a commercial about that. So anyway, we'll see, because it all depends on what my insurance will pay for. I do have Medicare, and I also have Blue Cross Blue Shield. So usually my insurance pays for any type of equipment that the doctor requests, and I'm 100% because I'm doubly insured. So anyway, let me get to crushing these eggs, and I'm gonna get off of here. And you all have a nice evening and weekend. I'll probably be back tomorrow. I'll show you how I crush the eggs. Oh, and the patty pan. The male flower has opened, so I hope it doesn't die off too quick, because the female flowers are not ready. I think they might open tomorrow. I'm hoping that male flower can hold off till Sunday, but I do have another male flower coming just in case, because I do it the human way. I have the Q-tip, so I do that. I get the pollen on the Q-tip, and then I rub it on the inside of the female flower. But boy, yeah, I open the flower, peel back the leaves or the petals, and then I take that little pistil in the middle that makes it a male. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Wait a minute, I'm looking, because I smelled a skunk earlier. Shoot, I ain't trying to get caught up in here. Let me get my stick just in case. Okay, but anyway, I take that piston and I rub it all up inside of the patty pan squash, and that's how I got them last year. So I didn't have no problems. I did that with the ones that I grew in the crate, because I grew patty pan in the crate, and I also grew patty pan in the keyhole garden. So, but this year it'll be in the raised bed. All right, y'all. So let me get off of here because I'm rambling. Everything's looking. Oh, the one thing I forgot to show y'all. Let me do it right now. One thing, this doggone raspberry plant. Yeah, it's bloomed and everything, but it's getting crazy now. So I'm gonna move it over here to. Oops, sorry, y'all. I'm gonna move it over here to this corner. Because it's too much over here. But my golden raspberry plant has bloomed. I don't know if you can see some of the blooms down there because the sun is hitting the phone and I can't see a thing. But I don't know if you see some of the blooms. There's one right there. But it's starting to bloom and it's being smothered out. So I want it to bloom really well. And so I'm going to, in fact, there's some right there. So I'm gonna move that out tomorrow. I'm gonna have to use gloves because y'all know it's prickly. And then I'm gonna move it out and let it do what it does because I am loaded. Right there, there's some back there. It's really, I got them in the back. And then it's up against the shade cloth and all that stuff. And I still need to work with this shade cloth. Sorry, y'all. I know this phone is just all over the place. Yeah, I need to start pulling and getting the shade cloth together. I'll do that tomorrow, but it'll be in the evening because, ooh, shoot. I keep knocking my water over, y'all. Okay, it's gonna be in the evening. But as you can see, I did trim my tomatoes. I pulled those suckers and I accidentally pulled the sucker full of flowers, but that's okay. But this is what I wanted to show you. Then we're gonna be off because I'm at 30 minutes. I don't know if you can see them. First of all, I'm full of flowers. Look at there, y'all. Wait, let me zoom in. Hold on, let me take this glove off so I can do it. Sorry for making y'all dizzy with this camera. Okay, I want y'all to see. I've got tomatoes, y'all. See them? Those are the grape tomatoes, I believe. And then I've got the the red tomatoes. Let's see, and some other ones. There's some down there. Let's see if I can zoom in on it. There they are, right there. And then there's some over here. I don't know if I can get them all, but the heat of the greenhouse brought them out. So, and then also, and I'm a harvest Swiss, let me zoom back in. I'm a harvest Swiss chard on tomorrow. I got my stuff for the grill this Saturday. I'm gonna grill tomorrow on Saturday. I'm gonna get rid of that lettuce, y'all. And I'm gonna stick something in there. I might stick another squash plant in there. Okay, I'm getting tomatoes over here. And then these are doing good still. The peppers. Some of them fell off, so I don't know if they're gonna recover from the slug, but they are growing again. And then all my peppers that I planted are starting to flower. The slug even hit my peanuts, y'all, but he didn't get them too bad. But he got, those are the banana, the Cuban nails that he had messed with. So those are bouncing back. And the green beans, of course, I showed y'all that. He had got my greens. And then he also, oh, he didn't get nothing over here, but I've got cherry peppers coming. Here they are. I've got blooms. So all my peppers pretty much have bloomed. So I'm just waiting on the peppers to come in. Okay, I'm over 30 minutes, y'all. Morris, the mojito, is doing good. I forgot to talk about him. See how he's climbing now? He's growing. So I'm satisfied. I'm gonna harvest some mint today because that's getting crazy again. Okay, y'all. So I will talk to you guys later. We're at 31 minutes. So I will talk to you guys later. And may God bless you all. And sorry about all the unsteadiness with the camera and stuff. But I was moving around. Ooh, look at that sun. Boy, it's kicking my butt now. See how it comes in here when it begins to set? I believe it's after 8 o'clock now. So it comes in here and then it's in here during the day. It's got everything lit up. So it's perfect. Today it was 85 in here and 96 outside. So it's running about 10 degrees higher than outside, which is perfect for me. Now I could get it hotter if I wanted to close it up. You know, I can make it hotter in here. Oh, and my okra is taking off too. But yeah, I can make it hotter in here if I wanted to. I might close that back door to heat it up a little bit. I think these plants can withstand maybe 100 degrees, and then I'll just leave this one open, and then I've got the fan. So I'm a play around with the temperatures in here because I know I can run this greenhouse hotter because I did it with the last one. Okay, bye-bye, y'all, and have a wonderful, wonderful evening.